Hello and welcome to the 1% Solution. Here you'll find tips and tools to help you acquire more physician clients one small step at a time. I'm Dr. Vicki Rackner, your host. This week's tip is ask a veteran to tell you a story. This weekend I was waiting in line in Starbucks when a man with silver hair in front of me caught my attention. I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, "Excuse me, sir, it's almost Memorial Day. Where did you serve?" He said, "I was a paratrooper. I was in Cuba in 1962, and then he went on to tell me his personal recount of the Cuban Missile Crisis. By that time, we'd gotten to the front of the line, and I offered to buy him coffee, and he graciously accepted. When the barista handed him his coffee, he kissed me on the cheek and said, "Thank you. Nobody has ever asked me about my military service." I want to invite you to ask a veteran about their military service. In fact, anyone who's lived through the Second World War had a contribution to the war effort. I remember the first time I suggested this exercise. I'd been dragging my feet about finding a photographer to shoot the author photo for my last book. My editor introduced me, and Marianne and I instantly hit it off. There was a little snag, though. Marianne said that there would be a delay before the shoot. She had to travel to Eastern Washington, hours away, to persuade her 87-year-old father to move into assisted living. In her opinion, it was not safe for him to live at home. I suggested that if Marianne wanted her father to listen to her, she might start by listening to him. Since her father took great pride in his service during World War II, I suggested that she bring a video camera and ask her father to tell her stories from the war. Well, when Marianne finally came over for the photo shoot, she was just bursting with excitement. She said, "When I got to my dad's, I asked him to share his stories just like you suggested. Dad came downstairs wearing a button-down shirt, and he hardly ever does that. He sat down in a chair and pulled some crumpled notes out of his pants pocket. He had thought about exactly what he wanted to say. Then he told me stories that I never knew. He'd been on the beaches of Normandy. He described how he could feel the earth shake with the bombs. It was an amazing experience, but then came the real miracle. She said on Sunday it was time for me to go, and normally he just yells goodbye from the kitchen. This time, though, he walked me out to his car. Right before I got in, he took me in an awkward embrace and said, 'I love you.' That's the first time in my entire life my father has said those three words to me. This story demonstrates the power of a story. This Memorial Day, ask a veteran to tell you a story. Maybe invite a military family over for a barbecue. Call up an elderly relative and ask them about their experience. Call a client or a prospect this week and ask them to share their experience with you. Buy a stranger a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Never underestimate the power of a story to connect people. Both the storyteller and the story listener benefit. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope that you found value in this content. Please feel welcome to pass this along to friends, colleagues, your broker-dealer. If you've been emailed this video, please feel welcome to go to www.targetingdoctors, where you can sign up to get on our list. Thanks again. Happy Memorial Day. See you next week.